My name is Whitney River, and I'm an artist living in Camden, Maine. I love to walk and to spend time outside. Whether I'm in the woods, on the beach, or on city streets, I'm always on the lookout for something that catches my eye. An object that has an interesting form with enough detail for me to get lost in, as if it were its own little universe, with more and more being revealed the longer I look at it. When I find a form that inspires and excites me, I bring it home to my studio. I work in pencil because I love the feel of it and the control it allows me. I use regular wooden pencils for larger areas and first layers, but most of my work is done with a mechanical pencil. I have a range of leads from 6H for my lightest areas to 6B for my strong darks. The mechanical pencil with the rotary sharpener allows me to get a point like the tip of a needle. I can't capture the level of extreme detail I love without that super sharp tip. Once my composition is lightly sketched out on my paper, I carefully start building up information with the mid-range of values, using mostly my HB, F, and B. This range, as long as I have not pressed down too hard, will be easy to lift off the paper if necessary. I have different ways of lifting my highlights, cleaning up edges, and lightening values. I have a rounded eraser tip and two different chisel tips, which I create by rubbing the tips on a blank piece of paper. Once I know everything is in the right place, I can start to go in with more detail and start to be more specific, and to commit with strong darks that will be harder to lift. The layers of graphite build up and begin to come together as I work. All of the values relate to each other, so shading is really about comparisons. What is the darkest dark, the lightest light, and everything in between? To really get something to pop off the page, you need that full range with carefully rendered, believable transitions. This contrast is what creates the magic. I use paper blending sticks to soften the edge of a shadow, or to help get a gradual transition between values. I also use them to draw. Once they have a dirty tip, that can be a nice way to get some soft, light values. In order to get my drawings to look as realistic as I want them to be, I take a lot of time layering my graphite. In a larger dark area, I use my 6B, and then go back in again and again with a slightly harder, sharp tip, taking time to get graphite into all the grooves of the paper. I do the same thing in lighter areas, using the harder graphites. I render the forms in great detail to offer you the opportunity to have your own sense of discovery with them, to get absorbed as I do in their bumps and scars, their twists and turns. I love the process and the challenge of translating real, three-dimensional objects into graphite on a flat surface. That moment when the shading comes together and it seems like the drawn image could be lifted right off the paper is absolutely magical to me. I don't render the organic objects in their usual environment as they are found in nature. I like to isolate and draw attention to the part that caught my eye. The simplicity of my compositions allows for intense concentration on the details within each form. Drawing is such a fun, rewarding challenge for me. By slowing down and taking the time to really study a form, to observe how all the details fit together, to notice how it moves through space and how light reacts to its curves and shapes, I learn so much about the natural world around me. Thank you for watching.